Hello YouTube, I am Prepper Princess, the author of Living on Almost Nothing. If you are interested in purchasing my book, I will go ahead and leave a link down in the description box below. I am also on Patreon. I do pretty much daily posts. Some of it is money, some of it is just my daily life, but you'll always learn something over on there. I've got the best commenters. But go ahead and check it out if it's something you're interested in. $5 will get you every post for the whole month, which is like 30 posts a month. And the people that I have on there are super friendly, and we're a nice little community. So today I want to talk to you about being delusional about your finances. I've made many videos. I have heard every story imaginable, every horror story imaginable, about people who went bankrupt and then they just started making the exact same mistakes. People who said, you know, if everybody would just pay off my bills, I would become rich. It doesn't work that way. I can tell you that. And whenever you see these channels where they're going over somebody's finances, and this is something that I've wanted to do, is to have people to go over their finances. The problem is that 95% of the time they're not truthful, they're not realistic. And then when you make suggestions on what they should or need to do in order to become successful, every line item you go over is but. So I don't do that. I don't do those anymore. In fact, when I started this channel way back in the day, I had a separate service where I would do that for $50. I would charge $50. I would go over all of your finances for the last 6 months, tell you where you need to cut. Not one single person signed up, but people always emailed me asking me to do it anyway. And every single time it was like, you need to cut this, but you need to cut this, but you need to cut this, but always but. And keep in mind, whenever somebody says blah, 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 but anything that they said before the but, just wipe it off the table. They didn't even say it. You look really pretty today, but you see what I mean? You just ruined whatever they said beforehand. So I got a comment from a commenter on one of my older videos. Now, I deleted this comment, but I made sure to make a copy of it. And I didn't delete it because it was bad or anything. I just didn't want anybody from this video to go back to the previous video and, give her a hard time, or him, I don't really know, to give them a hard time, or, call them bad names, because that's typically what happens. And this is not, and so I'm going to go ahead and show the comment up on the screen here, but I'm going to read it to you. And this is Delusional. And it says, I live on less than $700 a month in the Midwest. Rent, $495, electric, $40, groceries, $70, cell phone, $20, miscellaneous, $50. I don't receive any type of assistance, but I do have health insurance through the marketplace since it's required. Based on my income, it's $0. But I don't go to the doctor ever. I take excellent care of my health and have an inexpensive dental cleaning every 4 months. I live within 10 minutes walking distance to everything I need and occasionally get an Uber. People often think I'm wealthy by the way I look, though. I guess because I eat well, exercise, stay hydrated, well-rested, manicured, wear neat and clean clothing, etc. I do buy gifts for people I love, of course, and I spend $100 on myself on my birthday and Christmas. A pretty bottle of perfume or a pair of good leather shoes, for example. I have $125,000 saved by living this simply. My plan is to buy an SUV, then purchase land and build an off-grid cabin in the woods. Okay. Delusional. Now look, I am the cheapest person I know. And 2023 and 2024 are not cheap years for me. I am renovating this entire house, which is extremely expensive. I'm doing as much of the work I can as myself, but I still have to hire contractors. But after the renovations are done, I live on practically nothing but take whatever I just said and just forget I ever said it. But my medical insurance is over $500 a month, and that's not to me, it's not cheap, but a lot of people pay a lot more than that. You know, some people have families where they have to pay all of it out of pocket. So and this was, by the way, this was on a video that said something like, can you live on $1,000 a month without help? And that was this person's response. I live on $700 a month without help, but I get free healthcare. So if you were to not have free healthcare, let's assume that you would get something inexpensive on the inexpensive spectrum of medical insurance, $500 a month, you would be living on more than me. And you're also not including a lot of different things. Okay. So you said you plan on getting an SUV. I'm assuming that you drive now. What about your car note? If you paid for your car in cash, which maybe you did based on your living that simply, what about car insurance, car registration, car gas? What about natural gas to heat your apartment, your studio, your room? I'm not sure what living situation you have, but what about gas to heat that? It's very rare that those types of things, those types of living apartments are all electric. It's very, very rare. What about internet? What about water, sewer, and garbage? Is that all included in your rent? And food, you said you spend only $70 a month on food. I'm not calling BS. I'm not doing that because it is possible. It really is. It is possible to live on $70 a month on food. But my guess is that either you are being supplemented, maybe you have because of your low income that makes you able to get free medical care. Maybe you get food stamps, or you go and you supplement at the food pantry. And again, this was a video stating, could you live on $1,000 a month without help? Without help. Now, if you're living on $70 a month and you're not receiving any sort of food assistance, the only thing I can imagine is that maybe you have oatmeal for breakfast, and maybe a very simple lunch of like a piece of fruit, and then your dinner is just like rice and bean burritos, with a side of green beans or broccoli or peas or something like that. And that's all fine. I mean, I could do it for a month or two, and I'm not a picky eater, but even doing that would be fatigue, like not being able to eat the same thing over and over and over forever. So I can't see $70 on food being realistic for long term, unless you're receiving assistance. Food. So the first delusion is stating that you're doing this all yourself. That's delusional. You're not doing it all yourself. You're not independent. You are living off of the system. If you're getting free medical care, that is not, that's not without help. That is with help. And I don't have anything against it, but again, delusional. Are you being realistic with yourself? My monthly bills, and they change every year. Actually, sometimes they change every 6 months. My property taxes last year were like $600. But that was because I bought the house in 2022 and I was paying the 2022 property taxes, or however it goes. 2023, you know what I mean. This year, they're over it was $2,032.48. So that adds up to $169.37 per month. And in order just to make, maybe I'll do this on a different video, but I actually went through my entire credit card statement over the last year, and I looked up the exact dollar amounts of everything that I paid for. And granted, again, this is a year, 2023 and 2024, are years where I'm not spending my normal amount. I'm spending way more on renovations. Once the renovations are done, I'm going to be back to spending this amount. And another thing that I do, maybe again, another video, how to budget properly. When people budget, they think this is how much I spend in a month, right? But a lot of us have yearly payments, like car insurance. I pay once a year. Some people pay monthly. I pay once a year. My car insurance, all in 1 year. Okay, it was $641.76 for the year, or $53.48 a month. So what I do is I take all of my yearly bills and I divide them by 12 so that I know what it is for the month. So if I weren't if I were just saying, oh, this is what I spend in a month, right? You know, my cell phone gets paid once a year. My water and sewer are quarterly. So is my garbage. Let's see, property taxes, car insurance, those types of things. I don't pay anything for gas or electric. I have Pacific Gas and Electric, and I'm all solar. And because it's gas and electric, it actually pays for... they're combined. It actually pays for my gas and electric from the previous year. Of the surplus I got goes into the new year to pay for all of that. And it also includes the service charge. So if I produce enough extra, whatever, I don't want to get into it. So I don't pay for gas and electric. So if I were to say my monthly bills and not thinking about the quarterly, the semi-yearly, or the yearly bills, it's like, okay, what do I spend? I spend nothing. I mean, what do I spend? Okay, so I spend the $503 on medical. Car gas, I've got it at $60 because I've been making a lot of trips for the month. And it's actually 61 and 59, so it is literally like, yeah, something like that. So gas and then internet. So 503 for insurance, 60 for gas, 60 for internet, and 150 for food. That's all I spend in a month. Those are my monthly expenses. That's it. Just 620, 780. I only spend 780 a month. That's all I spend. But then you have to look at those other things, those things that you pay quarterly, bi-yearly, and yearly, and then you have to divide them by 12 to come up with the true dollar amount. And then I would also recommend going over your credit card statements, or if you don't have a credit card, you're not a credit card person, and you go over your debit card statements and look at every single little teeny tiny transaction. There's actually a lot of credit cards that will give you a pie chart or even a bar chart, but they'll give you oh my goodness, I'm sorry. They will give you a pie chart based on your expenses and show you exactly how much you spend in each category, whether that is home repairs and maintenance, car, regular miscellaneous shopping and stuff like that. And she actually stated, people think that I'm wealthy by the way I look because I eat well, exercise, stay hydrated, well rested, manicured. So it costs money to buy the tools to give yourself a manicure. I wear neat and clean clothing. I don't know if you're shopping at thrift stores. Neat and clean. My clothes are neat and clean too. I do buy gifts for people, but I didn't see that in the budget. I didn't see the gifts for people you love in the budget. And I spend $100 on myself for birthday and Christmas. A good pair of leather shoes is $120. There's a miscellaneous of $50 here. I guess you're only buying toilet paper because, yeah, it just seems like and I'm not trying to be mean to this person. Again, this is just something where I think that it's a little bit, you're not thinking of all of your bills. Just rent, electricity, groceries, and cell phone. Come on, that's not possible. If it were the what you pay in rent, $495. And then you pay no medical. And I pay $503 a month in medical and no rent. So we kind of balance out on that. But you still only spend $70 a month. But I'm at $11.55. But we balance out. So I think that you need to go over your expenses again and see what you really spend. Because I've only met one person that lives off of $700 a month. I don't want to go into, I'm not going to say who it is or anything like that. But one person I know of lives on $700 a month and they get, I believe, $120 in food stamps. But, this is a 60-year-old man who lives at home with mom, So I don't see, so lives for free. I don't see being able to do it with rent. So $495, but you only spend $700. You only spend $200 a month on anything that's not rent. That doesn't make sense. I'm sorry. So, and if you do live on $700 a month, you need to start your own YouTube channel and teach me some things. I mean, if this is like 100% legit and I'm just like jumping to conclusions here, you need to start a YouTube channel and start making some bank, because, you know, you can start on a money saving videos, and then once you do buy your land and start building off grid, you could potentially have a YouTube channel for the next 15 years. I say go for it. If this is true and this is what you spend, I want to see your credit or debit card statements every day. You know, I just want like a weekly video on what you spent this week and what you spent it on and how the heck you do it, because I don't see how it's possible. I want to know your opinions down in the comments section below. And I also would like to hear a couple of stories where people get stuff like this, or they have just a true horror story. I don't know why I like hearing about the horror stories when it comes to finances. It's like watching a train wreck. Like, you can't look away. I just like hearing those stories. So tell me your stories down in the comments below. If you've got a horror story, or if you might be a little delusional on your finances, and then go over your credit report and then report back to me. Tell me what you found. Like, I thought I only spent so much money, but turns out I spend $300 a month on fast food and I didn't even know it. Where did it go? All right, folks, do what you can with what you've got. Prepper Princess out. Get him, Nala. Get her, Rocky. I see that stub wagging. Oh, I don't want... Oh. Oh, you using me? That's cheating. That's cheating. Cheaters. Cheaters. Oh, you got her leg? Oh, Mister wants to play. You need to get him, Nola. You need to get him. No, you gotta get him. No, oh my. Go on. Good boy, Rocky. Oh my gosh. Did you get her good? Did you get her good?